Aloha, tribe, soul family. It's so good to be back. It's been a while since I've done a show. Wow. I believe the last show I did was about the money transformation, and we went on a journey. And then we did also the eclipse activations with Julie. And then I went on a journey. I went on a journey with my family. I went on a journey to the Bahamas, to Jamaica. We went to Jamaica, to the Cayman Islands. I swam with stingrays. It was amazing. I got to spend time with my precious family. It was so needed. It was so good. And it was a beautiful reflection, spending time with your loved ones after so much deep inner work is a beautiful reflection of the progress, the healing, the expansion. It's a good mirror to see how much we've come a long way. There were a few little things that came up, and I feel like my inner child was walking hand in hand with myself, my elder wise woman that I have become. And it was a beautiful unfolding of energy to see the expansion with my family. Then I extended a stay in Miami. I was in Miami and I had to make a decision if I was coming back on the 3rd. And I ended up staying, meeting some wonderful people and celebrating my birthday, which was on the 8th, and had a marvelous time. Spent time with my Theta healing teacher and did some art, like went to see some amazing art shows there. And in the future, it seems like I'm going to be doing art show in Miami on the mainland. There is a talk on January, but it will be delayed until March. So we will see exactly when that's going to happen. Hello, Daya, Ariel, Marsh. Good to see some people here live. I know we give a little short notice. It's really good to be here. And happy Halloween. Happy thin veils. I feel like I'm always around thin veils in my life, but here we are dedicating a day for the thin veils, right? Like the dimensional veils that we get to experience between this physical realm and the spiritual realm. And I love this time of year because we actually give it energy, we give it love, we give it attention. For the next week, we're in this like portal of these thin veils. It's a very special time. We are also going to be speaking about our shadows, the vices, the vices. We all have a vice or two or three. I am guilty. We all have something, when we're trying to avoid our void, right? When there's something that we don't want to look at or we don't want to feel or we're escaping, we tend to look externally, tentacly. We have tentacles. Ooh, I'm going to get this and this and this and this and this. And we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about what that looks like. And I channeled the whole transmission today and I try to make it as tangible as possible in the wording so we can understand what spirit is guided through this channeling that I have, the automatic writing, where I bring information through writing. If this is your first time watching me, welcome. I am Morayana. I am your spiritual ally, a friend, a cosmic friend here on the ascension path. And I have spiritual gifts that I use to bring information from the divine into the tangible reality. I use automatic writing, channeling through speaking in this divine English language. And it sounds almost biblical. And we read it and we interpret it and understand it together. And it is leading also into our full moon activation, which is from vice to vitality. And we'll talk about it in a minute. And we're just kind of dissecting the subject of our vices and our inner void, the shadow. We all have a shadow. We also have beautiful light, and there's polarity for everything in this realm. And so we're going to be talking and focusing on the shadow today, talking about, I'm getting chills everywhere. It's a beautiful subject because it is part of our existence. The shadow is very much part of our reality because we find the light through this portal of darkness. We find through our inner shadows and the shadows and the collective shadows, we find our inner light. I will share a story, and not to bring politics into it, but I shared this with a friend. Some of you might already know. There's a war in Israel. There were hostages that were taken. And I watched a few interviews. They were released recently. And one of the hostages spoke about how, in complete darkness, this man was under 50 feet, 50 meters under the ground in tunnels for 2 years in complete darkness, almost no physical contact besides his captivators. Um, and he was sharing, and this is what blew my mind, that he found the light of the creator, that he was the most closest to God, to creator, whatever you want to call it, during those times. And he misses, he's already released, he misses the time that, how he misses the connection and how close he felt to the creator when he was in that literal darkness. This is literal darkness, not like a theory of darkness. He was with no light for 2 years, and he found the light within and the connection to source. It blows my mind because we go through these experiences. I went through a heartbreak in 2017 that gifted me my Kundalini awakening, and that changed my life forever. And it was the biggest gift I've ever received. So I went through an emotional shadow, and a lot of these emotional shadows create this polarity of darkness and light. It is our it's like our direct connection. And maybe it's not all the time like this, but it's through this contrast of darkness and light that we are able to reach the highest light of love, because there's wisdom. When we start seeing the wisdom behind the darkness, we elevate to a higher consciousness of the light, and that darkness becomes our biggest ally to see the light and the love within it all. And so the person that was under this ground kept, treated really, I don't want to even talk about that, but how amazing that he found enlightenment during that time. And I bet you that that's what kept him alive, and he was liberated. And now he is probably sharing this enlightenment with the world through this experience. And so let's celebrate. Today we're celebrating the vices, the things that we attach to. There's no judgment here. No judgment. I definitely have vices. We all have something that we reach out to, right? So let's celebrate our shadow and our light today in this beautiful Halloween day. And let's talk about it. So it's called From Vice to Vitality. This is also the name of the activation. So good to see people coming online. Hello, Solaria. So nice to see everybody in the house. If you're on the chat, say hi. Okay, from vice to vitality. No more numbing. Okay, and also give a like, subscribe, and share. Comment on the link below. If you like my channel and you like the content, a little like, hit that like button. It helps me elevate this channel and reach out to more people that may need this wisdom. Okay. Also, before we get into it, I do also want to share that there's an activation schedule. I missed an H in the schedule. Forgive me. I'm noticing that now. So in November activations, we have 3. And December activations, we also have 3. I may have a little package deal. To be honest, this was all put together in the last 2 days because there was a lot of things I had to deal with when I came back from my vacation. And so I'm going to try to put a package deal if you want to participate in all these activations. We're going through another little spiritual boot camp, and it's important that we finish this before the new year. And so you can take a screenshot of this schedule if you like. November 5th, From Vice to Vitality. 11/11, we're doing an activation to release abandonment and restore the heart of love. And this is not just abandonment of people. This is the energy of abandonment, that we feel abandoned by the creator, that we feel abandoned by the divine, maybe by the light. Maybe some of you feel abandoned by the light of the creator, or had experience of being abandoned in your life. In this 11/11 portal, we're going to be going and doing that work together. And then on the new moon, we're also going to be releasing greed, possession, and distorted love, bringing a more wholesome wholeness into the love within, as love cannot be held captive. Love has to be opened and expansive. And in December, we're going more to the elevation activations. December 5th, it's the full moon. we're going to be doing an activation called Becoming the One, where we're already entering a portal of harnessing this polarity within of the masculine and feminine, becoming the one. December 12th is the 12th portal activation. You are the one. It's going to be all about wholeness, and then anchoring the kingdom of heaven. December 21st, which is solstice. I want you to remember that last solstice we did the activation for the volcano. We did a volcano activation to anchor masculine and feminine polarity using volcano mana in Hawaii. And since then, on December 23rd, that was 2024, Kilauea volcano on Big Island, where I live, erupted the day and a half after that activation. And since then, she has erupted with 2 spouts, masculine, feminine spouts, like crazy, 35 times. Breaking record for this activation 35 times since December 23rd. We did the activation, volcano activation on December 21st, anchored masculine, feminine polarity. December 23rd, a day and a half later, she erupted. And since then, 35 times. I just want to say that that is the power of this work that we do together. And on December 21st, we're doing another solstice activation, anchoring the kingdom of heaven, which is our heart. And I haven't written content, anything from only for Vice and Vitality for now. As you know, I go intuitively. And so we're in for a treat to see the expansion and the wholeness within our heart. And I will package this if you want to do 1 or just 2 or 3 for each month, and to make it very easy for you to access. Okay. These are the activations. Okay. Let's go into our subject today. So this is in the lingual of how I channel information, and I'm going to say it verbally how I channel it, and then we're going to kind of talk about it together. And yeah. Okay, so the heart of love. You know that a lot of the work that we do together is surrounding the heart, because the heart is the portal of the divine and to the light of the creator. It's the home of the light of the creator. And when our heart is balanced, all of those blessings and miracles can start to download and be in our experience, in this human experience, because we're matching the light of the creator. Now, in the past year, we've been talking about love thyself none and love thyself all. And you're going to hear this a lot in the transmission today. Love thyself none is meaning the experience of I don't love myself. There's something here that isn't in alignment with the light of the creator, something that isn't completely balanced with the light of love. Okay. Love thyself all is completely seeing our shadows, our light, understanding the polarity within us. It's not like we become this light and kumbaya and that's it. No, we are made out of both, but it's a balance. Okay. And we have masculine and feminine polarity. It's an electrical circuit in the heart. And when that electrical circuit is harmonizing up and down your spine through all of your chakra system in a balanced energy, this is called, in the lingual that I channel, love thyself all. And to create that experience, it's to be aware of all of our shadows and our experience, right? Our shadows and our light, and how we navigate that. Okay. The value, let's just read this. The energy of the heart is like a vault of love thyself all. Okay. Think about love thyself as a vault of energy. Love thyself all is the value of the light of the creator within one's heart. The value of your inner love is a guide to heal yourself. Okay. That value, if you are operating on a frequency of love thyself none, meaning you're still operating on your shadows, no judgment, this will show you where your healing is needed to heal yourself. So it's a guide, it's a blessing. That is the denial of the heart of the divine. Anywhere that you're still operating on your shadow, there is a denial of the heart of the divine, of creator, of the light, because you're repelling it. Every time you say yes to a vice or say yes to something that you know is not elevating your vibration, you're basically putting the light of the divine a little bit further away. And every time you say no to this experience of something that you know that will dim your light, then you are letting the light back in. Okay? When love thyself, when your self-love is vibrating on a low frequency, the heart energy is targeted to heal inner stability. So all the energy in your heart, when you're operating on a low vibratory of self-love, your heart energy is all targeted towards the experience of instability, of the inner divine union of your electrical circuit in the body, which can create low vitality. So if your heart has a volt of energy and it wants to be the highest voltage possible, that's what it wants to experience. That's what the heart is made for. It's made out of electrical circuit and it wants to be in power. But every time you say yes to an experience that dims your light or your self-worth, or you find that your willpower is weakened, you are saying yes to that low vitality because all the energy is targeted towards the experience of healing this instability rather than harnessing the stability. I hope this makes sense. This stage in one's journey, healing journey, awakening journey, we all go through it. This stage in one's healing journey grants the heart an experience to expand awareness, wisdom. Awareness is wisdom through temptation and pleasure rooted in denial of self-love. Because even in those temptations, we find pleasure. I'm going to smoke a cigarette. I'm going to smoke a joint. I'm going to go and party tonight and drink. I'm going to go and I'm going to find a babe to have some fun tonight. You know, there's all these vices. They're fun. Like some people have fun. That's why they have them. They want to experience pleasure. It's a temptation of a lower vibratory pleasure. You might enjoy that, you know, and it might go on for years. You might be in that experience for years until you'll see the pattern. You would even want to break it. There's people that are alcoholics their whole life. They can't break out of it and they love it. Some people just love it. They don't even care. They don't even try. Some people don't even try. But if you are walking this path of elevation, expansion, and we all are, in the end of the day, you can do this in this lifetime. You can neglect it in this lifetime, come back in another body and go through the same journey again until you wake up. The divine wants all of us to know the experience of love thyself all through the light of the creator. That is what the divine is pushing us to. It is escorting us. Let's use the word, it's escorting our divine soul to find the connection of the divine through the experiences that we go through the polarity of contrast that happens in our life, through the darkness, whatever it is that your soul signed up to do, in order for us to see the light of the creator and match the frequency of the creator so we can harness the blessings of the divine. Okay. So the stage is actually what expands our awareness. This journey of polarity, this journey of experiencing love thyself none, is a gift to our experience of their divinity, because through this temptation and pleasure, it is rooted in denial of self-love and it fills the void of empty love within, but then grants us the awareness of what love thyself all truly is. All right. The gateway of awareness. The gateway of awareness. This whole experience of our connection to our shadow, our pain, our losses, our grief, whatever it is that we're dealing with, resentment. We didn't forgive somebody for 10 years. Maybe we're holding resentment or a grudge to someone. And when you hold the grudge, do you know how much like space it takes in your body? And so somebody maybe maybe you even lost someone to somebody actually lost their life, and you didn't solve a disagreement that you had, and you had a grudge and you weren't speaking. Let's say you didn't speak to somebody for 10 years or 5 years, and then they pass on and this grudge is still there and you don't heal it. You know, those things they take so much space in our body. And I'm just bringing one example. This can be endless of stories that we go through as a human experience on this earth plane, right? And then we create vices to cope. People maybe use weed. Maybe some people use alcohol. Maybe some have sex addictions. Like there's so many different things. And we're going to talk about those vices in just a moment. But those experiences also is a gift to the awareness. So these experiences hold value to the heart of denial as it opens the gateway to expand awareness through temptation of the heart of love thyself none. Not loving ourselves is can also be a temptation. Like, we can choose any moment of the day to say, I'm loving myself and that's it. I'm going to live a life of a god or a goddess, and I'm going to treat myself with worth. I am valued. I am worthy. And anything that doesn't match that worthiness of love, you will say no to. It's a choice, right? But there's also temptation to say yes to the things that maybe feel good for a moment. That's pretty much where we're all at, all humanity. Like, all humanity is like really easy to say yes to things that brings us pleasure, but it's not divine pleasure. It's instant gratification. When one rides the waves of purity through escapism, a polarity forms within self, and this expands awareness through the heart of love. Let's read that again. I even need to. When one rides the waves of purity through escapism. So when you're escaping something, whatever it is, if it's a story, if it's an experience, if it's pain, if it's a breakup, if you lost someone, whatever it is that you're escaping, there's a polarity that forms within your heart. And this polarity of darkness and light expands awareness through the heart of love. This is an opportunity to expand awareness through the heart of love. And the awareness has the potential to elevate love through the healing of light. It's a choice. The awareness, it's like a direct pathway to the light if you are able to ride the waves of purity and see through your escapism the light. Okay? One must recognize the healing needed to expand this awareness through the heart and allow the heart to open to the light of the one. The light of the one, it sounds biblical, but the one, when we take a masculine, an energy, and a feminine, a negative and positive electrical circuit, and we put it inside of a light bulb, that light bulb becomes one light. There's not two circuits of light in there. There's only one. Turns the light bulb on, right? We have light, and then it becomes one light. So think about the light of the one, the same thing, equivalent in our heart. We're going to take that light bulb as an example because it's exactly the same thing. We're just an electrical physical circuit in our body. There's only one light. Two circuits merge, it becomes one light. And that one light is the light of the Creator. When we recognize the healing that we need to go through, and healing can be simple. It doesn't have to be, there's certain healings that takes long, like maybe you broke a leg and that's going to take a few months, right? Everything has a time. Everything has a time. But your single no, I'm not going to do that today. No, I'm not going to do that today. That single no, that one no that you said to something that you said 1,000 times yes to is instant healing. How simple is that? You said no to one thing that you said 1,000 times yes to. Maybe that joint, maybe that glass of alcohol, maybe buying something on the internet that you're trying to fill that void. And you say, oh, actually, no, I'm not going to do that today. You pause, you say no. Wow. Just instantly you said no to something that you've always said yes to, grants you healing, grants you more light, gives you more of your energy back because you're not depleting your energy by spending it on something that depletes your soul. And this experience expands the love of the one and balances the polarity of love thyself, which is the polar union balanced in your body and your heart, to be witnessed and healed, and heal the identity with the heart of love thyself none. Let that sink in, because it really is that simple. But when we operate on autopilot in our pain and we let the inner child run the show, sometimes it's not that simple. But if we can see the inner child, if we can really witness ourselves as children of the divine and understand that we all have a story, we all have pain. And then when we see that pain, we see that story and we elevate above it And we're like, wait a minute, I see it. I see it. I'm not blind anymore. Wow, what just happened? That's the awareness. What just happened? Oh my God, I've been doing this for 20 years. How could I not see this? Oh my God, there it is. Click, click. The awareness is the click that you have to your story or to your pattern. And most people don't even know it. They don't see their pattern. Somebody can be doing the same thing over again and they're using humor or I don't know, some people even use like positive toxic positivity to be like, oh, everything is good. And I'm going to keep doing this pattern. I'm going to do this pattern because it feels good. And I'm all positive. So everything is going to be good. And, and that also positivity can also be that pattern of even too much. There needs to be balance to see both because that's the balance. If it was all love and light, we wouldn't be in a physical body. We end in death, like we go into a grave. There is no way that it's only the light. We have balance, and it's good to be in the light and be positive, but to not ignore our shadow, to not bypass the patterns and the pain and the things that we came to transform and evolve and elevate and transmute into the higher light. Spend light with the shadow. Spend time with the shadow. See it. Take time to look at it. Enjoy the awareness around it. Enjoy like that awareness around it, and let yourself go through it to reach the light of love. So liberation through temptation. Liberation through temptation. We all have some sort of thing that we enjoy. Mine is coffee. That's my drug. I love coffee. Sometimes I can have more than one a day. And it's sometimes when I'm working hard, I can even have more. And that's, let's say coffee is mine. One could be coffee. The other could be a joint. The other can be all kinds of things. So when one heals through the liberation of this temptation, whatever that is, and the heart moves beyond instant gratification, because it's an instant gratification, whatever it is. This process accelerates the energy of the divine heart, clearing the old value system, which can be done, of love thyself none. Every time you say yes to something that you know isn't good for you or is coming from a place of void, you are saying yes to a version of you that is operating on a low self-love energy. And when we clear this old value by accelerating the heart of love, this elevates the heart to the light of the divine and matches our frequency to the light of the creator, which is the ultimate journey of enlightenment. We want to reach as much as possible to match our frequency with the light of the creator and elevate the heart of the divine within. And this is not religious. I don't want you to think like, oh, we're here on the path of the divine. And, this is our birthright. When I say divinity, that means like ecstasy, but not from a substance. This is not, when I say divinity, I'm only talking about joy. I'm talking about happiness. I'm talking about co-creativity. I'm talking about blessings and miracles and happiness and abundance. That is our birthright. And the path to get there is to harness the light of love and match our frequency to the light of the creator. The more that you match your frequency of the light of the creator, all of those gifts start to come innately into your life because it's your birthright. And we want to see the shadow and feel the shadow as much as possible so we can walk through the fire to reach this expansion. And so don't take this as a religious sense. Take this as a sense of your highest blessings of ecstatic bliss, which is the highest currency of divinity. The soul expands awareness through time and space, right? We're talking about time and space. Time and space is time in general is a man-made concept. And when we go through that man-made concept of time and space, which is the infinite, we want the soul to expand through this awareness beyond the illusions of separation, which is our physical vessel in the light. Separation, this physical, my skin, this body. Take away the body, we become a form of light. The body is the vessel holding this light, is the container. We want the vessel to be the most amazing, expansive, healthiest version of ourselves to hold this light. So our soul can actually free ourselves, expand through this awareness of time and space, beyond the illusions of separation, and blessing the heart with elevation of divine light and raising awareness to the light of the Creator. There is a point that you can reach where your awareness, your inner vision, your inner light becomes one consciousness with the light of the Creator. And that is the most wholeness that you can feel when you go into that space. You know, sometimes I am guilty of overworking. I am guilty of sitting down for hours and writing content and writing and working and just putting a lot of love into my offerings. I am so guilty of that. What did I want to say with this? I'm guilty of, okay, this is my vice, but I had something where I was going with this. Anyway, I forgot. Oh my God. Never mind. I'll come back to that. It'll come back to me. Let's talk about this might come back to me in just a moment. So instant gratification vices. Let's talk about our vices and what that looks like. And these are just examples. If you have something that isn't written on this chart, just let me know. And if you want to share what your vice is, also let me know. Okay, so compulsive eating. And you know, there's such a high rate in the United States of obesity because everything is available. You go to the supermarket today, there's more than 10,000 products of things. Everything is available. We're disconnected from also nature, people not growing their own food. So like you go out to the supermarket, it becomes this endless row. You can just get anything you want out of season. Everything is processed and it becomes a habit of compulsive eating. The more options you have. This is also in dating apps, by the way. The more people you can date, the more people are out there. It becomes this like, whoa, there's so many choices. What do? I'll just have so many. So it can become compulsive eating, right? Compulsive shopping. A lot of people today, you have everything online. You can order anything from any country at any given moment. And that can fill in a void for instant gratification. Have you ever bought something and then wore it? And you were like, oh, okay, you were so excited about it. And then you let it go. And then you forgot that it's even, you have it and the money is gone. And then you don't really feel good about it. It's just instant. You felt good for a moment. And there's good shopping. It's good to treat yourself nice. You know, it's good to buy good, elegant clothes that you like that make you feel good. But I'm talking about an experience that's compulsive, right? Everything that's exaggerated. It is actually so important to adorn yourself with things that you love, with clothes that maybe are more expensive than the cheaper clothes that last you longer, that you get to enjoy more, that are from good fabrics, because you're adorning the vessel. You are adorning the body that holds this light, which is the light of the Creator. So you do want to adorn your body. We are talking about a compulsive experience, compulsive eating, when there's no, you know that you're full and you're eating more. You're eating all day long because you're trying to fill the void. You are shopping, and shopping in order to fill that void. Sexual indulgence. Today in an app, you can just hook up whenever you want. There's so many apps for dating. Most people, and I think that there's a lot of apps like Tinder and stuff like that. I haven't been on an app in I don't know, maybe 20 years, something like that. It's not my vibe, but I know that I don't know what's exactly going on in all these apps, but I can imagine that you can get hooked up instantly from just a Tinder app or whatever app that is out there instantly just by meeting people online. But then you're just swiping. People are not even people anymore. They're a face. It's all like, what, how can you know about a picture? Nothing really. There's a whole world behind one person, and people can start overlooking a whole soul, a whole human being, just by swiping and swiping and swiping. So pornography, it really saddens me, to be honest. This is one of the things that I have 3 nephews that one is 7, one is 10, one is 13, and they are so pure. My sister is doing such a good job with them, and they are so pure. And I keep wondering, like, what if one day they will go to the internet and see all the things in pornography? They're just free out there for anybody to watch. This can be an addiction, and it can take us out of our innate tantric sexual birthright that is a divine exploration of one's sexual nature, that it's something beautiful to discover. And then instead of having that being a natural, organic unfolding between people and oneself on their journey, this can be a compulsion of over masturbation and seeing things that your visual eyes and your consciousness isn't ready for, or not even made for. There's things that are put out there that we're not even made to watch. And so all of those things, and I think that on a on a shadow collective level, by the way, with pornography, and I think this is important to talk about, that I feel like that this is my opinion, that it's targeted to men. Once you understand semen retention, and I'm making this we're talking about the sexual aspects of spirituality, which is very important because sexual nature is a very, very big part of our nature and our animalistic nature. But then there's a divine nature of that too, because if we're operating on an animal nature, then you are still operating on a lower vibration. When you can bring your sexuality to a divine nature, some would call it tantra, white tantra, whatever you want to call it, men start to practice semen retention, which when they do that for a man, this grants them their godly energy. Okay? The more semen retention that you know how to harness within yourself without ejaculation, this gives you your godly power. If you have power over your spiritual will for a man, your desires and your sexual energy, and you know how to use it for your spiritual gifts and your power, you are becoming the most powerful man alive. Men are powerful, though, if they are manipulated through pornography. This can also happen to a woman, but I'm talking about men because this is specifically about semen spending the seed. Okay, the more you spend the seed, the more energy and godly energy you're letting go of, and you become a slave to sexual energy. And you can be manipulated in a second because your sexual energy is stronger than you. Then you need to be with this woman and this woman and this woman and this woman and this woman, and you wouldn't be able to harness your power. When a man knows how to say no to these things, come from a place of purity and connection to the divine, and find women that match the vibration of the divine to practice spiritual beauty and love and sexual energy in a harmonious, loving way, your godly energy can actually amplify through the feminine, that her energy is connected to source energy. It would actually amplify you and make you even more powerful and more strong. And this is a discussion for another time. I'm not going to make this about Tantra right now. But in theory, this is what I want you to know, that I believe that this is a manipulation of consciousness through pornography on people and on men. And this is an issue that's happening around the world and through the web, the dark web, or whatever you call it. And it's unbelievable how available and leaky it is to anyone, any child, any person that wants to watch it today. And I really hope that this will change in time and be more conservative to, people, that it won't be available to every child that is on the internet. Okay. Excessive sleeping. Even sleeping, and sometimes this is necessary. Some people that go through depression, deep rest, depression comes from the word deep rest, need sleeping in order to go through whatever they're going through. But if you are 5 years compulsively sleeping and you're unhappy, that also is a way to run away from, it's an escapism, right? Scrolling, social media. I definitely, sometimes I work online, working on stuff, and I take a break. So instead of going to nature, I'm susceptible to scrolling to find something funny to make me laugh. This is what I do. This is true story. So I also have this like habit of scrolling, finding funny media to just get my brain off of something. And I do this often, and it's something that I'm also here. My name is Morayana, and I scroll. And I find that the less, if I can just stop myself and say, no, go sit outside, go to the beach for just 1 second. You live on an island, go to the beach and soak in some sunshine, will be way better than a scrolling issue. Gaming, for people that do gaming, smoking, compulsive weed smoking. Some people numb, some people have actual dis-eases that they use smoking for, fine. But if you're smoking and you know that it's habitual and you're actually having a voice, an inner voice that's saying that this doesn't feel good and I don't want to do this all the time, I'm losing myself in that, that's excessive smoking. You know, if somebody's, I don't smoke and I don't find that it's good for my specific energy body, but I have seen people that smoke weed that actually help them focus or, you know, calm them down if they're ADD or something. I do believe that there's like medicinal aspects to this, but even medicine, even when you're taking medicine is not something that you're supposed to take all the time, right? You're supposed to take something medical to help you move through something and then let it go. You don't want to self-medicate forever. The idea is to find healing and liberation, to find the strength within you, the healing within you, the wholeness within you, that you don't need that anymore to self-medicate anymore. That's why it's called medication. It's not supposed to be there all the time. Including addiction for spiritual ceremonies. How many of you have been with or know people or are in a spiritual community that people do ceremony and ceremony and ceremony and ceremony and ceremony? I hear about it all the time. Ayahuasca or all these plant ceremonies. And that's just another way to escape. It can be really beneficial and really healthy, but how often are you doing that? Are you doing that once a year? Are you doing it once every 2 years? Or are you doing it every weekend? Or are you doing it 3 times a week? Or are you doing it every day? This is where it becomes a vice, right? Substances or alcohol, no need to expand on that. We all know what that is. Hoarding, buying things or not letting go of objects can be another way. Gossiping, just speaking about other people can be a habit. Hey, la 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 la, did you hear about this and this and this and this? Can be also an escapism to look at yourself. When you're talking, you know, we have so much energy in our speech. So much goodness can come out of our speech and so much evil can come out of our speech. And we really need to catch ourselves. When we speak negatively about another person and it becomes a gossip, you are instantly letting the light of the Creator release from your body and taking away your blessings. Because you're also hurting yourself, but you're also hurting another individual. Gossip is the most sharpest. It's like a knife. And we got to pay attention to what we say and how we speak about ourselves. We can also gossip and speak evil about ourselves. We can also have a negative thought about ourselves. And we don't want to have that inner voice. So practice speaking positively about yourself. Then you will see that you will also speak positive about other people, because it always starts inside of self. If you find somebody gossiping with you, stop them. If you find yourself speaking about someone else, stop yourself. There are different rules for this, because, you know, sometimes people have an experience and they want to share it with a friend so they can really, you know, learn from it. So as long as you are speaking with respect to someone else, about someone else, in order to learn from it, in order to elevate from it, and you're not shaming, blaming, hurting another person, then there's that fine line that's okay, because you are learning from the experience. Do not shame, blame, or speak negatively about someone else. Even that can become a vice. Someone uses their everyday to speak about other people. Pay attention to that, because also, if that person that's speaking to you about other people, they will be speaking about you to other people, and that can also hurt you. So pay attention. This could also be a vice that we don't really think about. And overworking, I'm guilty of that. Somebody that is running away from their life through working, you know, pay attention to that also. At least when I think about overworking, at least I know that what I'm doing is what I love. But I did overcome it. Like, even going to this trip for 1 month was a good thing for me, because I've been working so hard all year. That was my first vacation. And I was like, you know what? You can extend this. You are allowed to have fun. And I didn't take my computer on purpose. And I enjoyed myself. And I really enjoyed myself. And it's really important to have that balance. And I want to have more of that balance, because sometimes I get carried away with work or being in service. And I think being in balance is really important. So let's practice more of that. Does anybody want to say anything about this list or anything that they feel that they want to be heard around these vices? You're welcome to share it in the chat. Healing the body and light. All right. When one is healing through stability of self-love, I just saw 444 on the live. That's cool. When one is healing through stability of self-love, when we're stabilizing our self-love, this stability creates a direct pathway to harness the light of the divine in the heart, which brings healing of self-love and bless the heart of divine love. Okay. When the light of the one, which is the light, the circuit in our heart that is merged, when the light of the one is liberated from instant gratification, there is an elevation through the higher heart, and the body heals through the love of the one. When we can say no, when our no's, it's a sacred no. It's a sacred no. Our no's become sacred. Every time we say no to instant gratification of something that we know is habitual, every time we say no, there's an instant elevation through the higher heart, and the body heals through the heart of the one, and you get that love of the creator more. You harness more of that light within. This opens the gateway between the light of creation and the heart of love thyself all, and that's self-love, my friends. Some people don't even know what self-love is. Self-love is the ability to have healthy boundaries and say no to the things that are not serving you and are actually causing more damage than none. From the list that we just spoke of, every time you say no to it, you are harnessing the light of the creator. Maybe you quit smoking and somebody offered you a cigarette, and in that moment you really want it. And you're like, oh my gosh, I really want to have a cigarette right now. And you take a moment to process, wait, if I say yes to this, my light is, I'm going to deplete my self-light. But if I say no to this, I'm keeping the vault of light higher. It's like a vault, a bank of love. We have a bank of love. And we want to keep that bank full of light, of abundance. And so instant gratification equals less light. When we say yes to the gratification of the divine light, saying no to the things that are pulling the light out of us, we are loving ourselves. When we say no to that, we are loving ourselves more and more and more. Saying no to those things are actually an act of self-love. Love thyself all. It creates freedom of the heart to elevate pleasure through mastery of instant temptation, and blesses the self with mastery of light, and elevates the heart with love thyself all. Less is more. So practice less is more. Less shopping. Do one good shopping of nice things and forget all the little knickknacks. Get really nice things that are elegant, beautiful, make you feel good, and forget all the little things that don't serve you. You're on a Tinder app, maybe put it down. Maybe go out for a walk. You're saying yes to a puff. Have you smoked too much that week? You don't really need to smoke. Put it down. See how you feel. Go for a walk. Spend time in nature. Go to meditate. Do yoga. Call a friend up and go for a walk. There's all these little habits that we can start replacing it, like in art, dancing, movement, yoga. Sit down and laugh about it. I don't know. Do something that is different than saying yes to what you are normalizing as okay to do as a habit. So we are doing an activation for this full moon to let go of these patterns. It's called From Vice to Vitality. And we're meeting on November 5th at 6 p.m. EST. And we focus on healing the relationship between the temptation of instant gratification of the heart's denial of self-love. And this expansion through the light harmonizes the light of the one with the divine. Harmonizes the light of the one with the heart as divine liberation and healing karmic debt with love thyself none. Okay, every time we are saying yes to something that we know isn't in alignment with our highest divine light, we are actually creating this karma between us and this vice. And what we're going to do in this activation is going to be working on clearing this karma that we have with these vices. You watch porn, you watch pornography, you're doing that, you're creating karma. There's even other people you're watching that you are bonding energetically with. We're going to clear, this is an example. You are using people for sexual pleasure. Maybe it's people not online. Maybe you're actually going with many, many dates, many, many people, hurting people. Maybe you're hurting. Maybe you're not aware that you're hurting people, but you're sleeping with many women or many men, and you're using people for your vice. You're actually using someone that's creating karma. So in this activation, we're going to be clearing this karmic connection, these cords that we have to these vices, to these people, to these things and attachments that have been filling our void. And this whole experience is going to create stability in the body and open the gateway between the heart and the light of the Creator, freeing the heart from self-destruction and elevating consciousness into self-love. Love Thyself All is the freedom to liberate the heart of temptations. It's your willpower to choose freedom and liberate your heart of temptations, of the monkey mind, because it starts in the mind. The mind is going to be like, oh, you should do that. Oh, how about we go eat something? Oh my God, how about we could call this person and talk about, it's a monkey mind thing that if we give the monkey mind the rite of passage to do what it wants to do, we're going to be controlled by a monkey. We're going to be controlled by a monkey. Oh my God, I have to share a story. I'm going to share a story. So when I lived in Bali, I was seeing someone that was polyamorous, and I thought that he was coming from a place of healthy polyamory, but I learned that he wasn't. I learned through an experience that he really was just like anything, any woman, anything is like works. And my heart couldn't understand it. I was witnessing, I was going through my own shadow, and it was showing my own shadow. And I went through this really deep karmic liberation of awareness. I was in my awareness stage where I was like really seeing it for what it was. And after we broke it off and we let it go, and with a lot of love, I was in my balcony, and there were monkeys in my balcony. I was in Bali. And then there was this one monkey, male monkey, with two female monkeys, and he comes to one monkey and he humps the monkey and he humps the monkey, and the monkey is disinterested. So he just let her go. After a few seconds, he just like, okay, I can't do this. So he goes to the other monkey next to him and he starts to hump the other monkey. I'm sorry, this is just really funny. And this is like God showing me the monkey mind and how like it's not even coming from a divine place. It's coming from a very animalistic place. And then it goes to the other monkey and it humps it, and it's like she's disinterested. So he just lets go and he starts eating a banana. It's the animalist. That's the difference between the monkey mind, which is animalistic. It's coming from a shadow part of ourselves. Oh my God, I need this, to experiencing divine light with purpose, with intention, with love. Okay, that's what separates us from the animalistic nature to our divine nature. And watching nature actually is a great way to learn. And I thought that was a really funny. If you saw me on the balcony when I saw that, it was like 2 days after this man left, and it was all about this. For me, it was all about this like polyamory versus monogamy versus what's right, what's wrong. There's a such thing, but for me, I was like shown this reflection through this person, and then I saw that experience, and I'm like, I laughed, and I'm like, oh, he's just a monkey. It's just a monkey. He's just operating off the monkey mind and animalistic. It gave me some kind of understanding of what I was dealing with. And it freed me from the experience of, oh my God, it was wrong or something's right. It's just people are in different stages of their life, and check in with yourself. Are you operating through an animalistic monkey mind experience? Is your animal in charge, or is your divine light in charge? Are you even able to say no? Give your sacred no to something that you know is not serving you? Or are you a slave to the yes? Yes, I'm just going to say yes to this now. My shadow is in charge and I'm going to say yes. And even if you say yes, and yes again, and yes again, you will come to a point, or not, that you can say no, and see what happens when you say no and get your power back. The more no's you grant to something that is out of alignment with the light of the divine, you harness more magic, more power, and you become one of the most powerful beings on the planet because you cannot be manipulated by your own willpower. And that's, I think, oh, we have some more. I think we could have finished with that, but I will continue reading because that is what it is about. We want to be powerful. It's all about reclaiming our power. So, recognizing temptation as the inner void seeking home. If we recognize that every time we reach out for a sandwich, we reach out for a snack, we reach out for the Tinder, we reach out for shopping for no good reason because you don't even need a thing, but you're buying something, or you're reaching out to whatever it is that you are reaching out to. Recognize it with your awareness as an inner void, and all you want is actually to be home, and home is within your heart. Witness the pattern, see it, watch the pattern, watch the monkey, watch the monkey. Have that vision. It's funny. What? Have that vision every time that you're seeking out something outside of yourself that you know is not serving you. Have an image of a monkey humping another monkey for no good reason. Okay? Take that. Enjoy it. Laugh about it. It would actually help you through this process of watching the pattern. And heal by choosing to disengage with the action by just doing nothing. Watch it. Take a deep breath, smile, laugh about it, and say it out loud. I break this pattern now. I break this pattern now. You can just say, I'm breaking the pattern. I'm saying no. It's my sacred no. And you can, while you are witnessing it, it's such a nice experience to even smile and be like, oh my God, I'm seeing it. No. What am I going to do instead? Find a replacement. Choose love instead of habit. What does self-love do? What would love do? Ask yourself, what would love do instead of doing this pattern again? Instead of lighting that joint, instead of drinking that alcohol today, what would love do instead? Allow the divine to heal instant gratification and free the heart from abandonment. Every time we say yes to something like this, it creates abandonment with the light of the Creator. Okay, creating freedom through an open heart of love thyself all. Bless this rhythm of self-devotion to practice self as a mastery of pleasure. Bless this rhythm of self-devotion to practice self as mastery of pleasure. Deny with love this pattern of pleasure of instant gratification and the pull of instant gratification, and strengthen our will to love through mastery of pleasure and devotion to love thyself all. And that pleasure should be taken place with saying no. No. Practice enjoying, finding pleasure in saying no to the things that you would have said yes to that you know robs your light and takes your power away. Find pleasure in saying no. Actually, I'm growing, expanding my vault of light. And I'm going to say no to this, and see how you feel. Slowly, slowly, with each no, you find your power. No equals power. The more no's you say is actually you're refining what you're saying yes to. All right. How does that feel? That feels really good. I feel like I wrote maybe a lot, and we're just going to read this. I think it's the last one. Yes. We're going to read this last one. And yeah, we're also reaching the hour. Healing the relationship between mastery and pleasure, right? We're going to master our pleasure, transforming temptation into divine expression. So what do? Source creation is the liberation of self-abandonment through prayer, creativity, sound, singing, praying, chanting, playing music, finding a hobby, playing an instrument. Find something to fill the void that brings light consciousness to the heart of devotion. Starving the vice, I like that. Starving the vice of instant gratification and expanding the light within. Every time you starve of vice, you expand the light and you become more and more like the light of the Creator. Every choice to starve of vice is elevation of the light in the soul. And the soul is liberated in true freedom. When you say no and you are not controlled by anything that is taking your willpower, then you experience true freedom. And that grants you the rite of passage of your inner god and goddess, because you become a powerful being. Your inner masculine and feminine polarity are balanced and stable because they're not dealing with love thyself none with these vices. And then the heart becomes a vessel of blessings, of the light and miracles. Isn't that the way? If you found, let me just bring myself to the screen here. If you resonate with any of those list of vices and you have found yourself in these habitual patterns and you want to explore and expand your consciousness with the light of the Creator and strengthen your willpower and let go of these habits and the karmic connection or the karmic ties that you have with each vice, I really encourage you to come and join the full moon activation beyond from vice to vitality, because together we are going to work to clear our subconscious from the root cause and of these experiences of these vices and strengthen our willpower and bring more light and more willpower, strengthen our willpower through the perspective of the Creator to heal our relationship with our vices. I hope you had an amazing journey with me today in our episode From Vice to Vitality. You can find, let me just pull this up. A moment. Share my screen. Share screen. Open tab. Here we go. Okay, go to deepintuitivehealing.com and on the front page, you cannot miss it. You will find, you can reserve a spot right here from Vice to Vitality and join us for an amazing activation from Vice to Vitality to bring the light of the Creator, to match the light of the Creator. Thank you so much for being here today. I also want to share, that I have been working again on a new website for Deep Intuitive Healing. It's just a new platform. It's taking a lot of my time, and I'm working on that because it's my first. I really just want to complete that this week. And Tuesday, I may do a show. I want to do a show before we do the activation, because the activation is what day? It's going to be a Wednesday, 2nd, right? Yeah, it's Wednesday. I will most likely do a show on Tuesday. I want to have my offerings for the holidays, because I'm just going to speak about it now. Keep it in mind. I don't know if you know this offering that I've done every holiday season, but I create channeled prayers with my light scribe art. And you will have the ability to order a personalized prayer. You give me three intentions. Let's say you have a friend that you want to bless and you say, I want to bless this person with love, with abundance, and expanding their finances, whatever it is. Or maybe somebody has a disease or somebody's not feeling well and you want to bring them healing. What I do is I set intention before I create the art. You give me 3 colors that you want to use, the one that you want the background to be, the one you want the writing to be, and the one that you want color of dots to be, and writing little text or little decorations. I will create that for you and then print it out either on a print, either on canvas, or either on aluminum, which is like a metal print. And it would be personalized, one of a kind, never used again. And you can gift it to each other. I will have it more solidified. Just know that that's coming up. And I'm going to have some discounts on sessions and gift cards. And I'm working on it, solidifying it for you for the holiday season. Have a happy Halloween and trick or treat and have fun with your kids. and enjoy this time of the thin veils, to look beyond the shadow, to see your shadows, to love them, to be aware of them, and to not judge them, because we all have them. And yeah, sign up for the activation. I love you. Mahalo nui loa. You are loved. You are loved. You are loved. Thank you so much for being here. Mahalo nui.